So what's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Burning Up in Texas podcast. I am your host, Juan Jimenez, and you may be asking yourself, why am I in a closet? Well, it's not because I'm a closeted homosexual. That's not what it is at all. It has nothing to do with that, actually. I started comedy, so I figured a good way to get myself out there would be to start a podcast, like basically every other comedian that I've seen, monkey see, monkey do type stuff. But yeah, I was gonna wait until I had a better setup, had a couple mics and an actual spot to do it at. But I just kind of decided, fuck it, why not just do it? I was tired of waiting. So yeah, I got my little desk here, got my little computer, drilled a hole in it to get this thing on there. Kind of rigged this up with some zip ties. That's why it might look kind of wonky, but you know what? We're making it work. We're making it work, and we're working with what we got. A little bit about who I am. My name's Juan Jimenez. Obviously, I just started doing comedy, which transitioned into me doing podcast. Eventually, I'm not only going to be doing podcasts, I plan on doing skits as well. I've always been really into writing and like creating stuff ever since I was a kid. But yeah, I've been doing stand-up for about 3 months now. Why did I start doing stand-up? Good question. One of the big reasons is that I was tired of working for the man. I was tired of working a 9 to 5. I was listening to podcasts and I was hearing these, I was going to say musicians. I was hearing these comedians talk about how they get paid to drink and smoke, and how they have all this time during the day and all this time to travel, and basically they work at night. And what that made me think is, well, I work 50 hours a week already. I never see my kids. So that sounds like a good transition into me doing something that I not only love to do, but something that also would allow me to spend more time with my family. Because, I work construction, and I work the typical construction life. I get up at 5 in the morning. I'm at work by 6. Don't quote me on that, actually. Sometimes I sleep in a little bit. I'm in by 6 most of the time. I'm getting off 5, 6, same time, just in the PM. And I'm tired of being tired all the time. I live in Texas, and if the name of the podcast didn't give it up already, we're burning up over here. So it's not the most ideal job. I have my mixed feelings about it. To me, it's a lot better than working in like an office, at least for me, because I like working with my hands. I like moving around. I like the fact that I get to drive around town and meet people, even though it's just construction workers. I still have a lot of little conversations with people. I talk to builders, So yeah, I wouldn't say don't do it. Like, don't join a trade and work construction. You just got to be ready for hard work. Get ready for the heat. Get ready for, uncomfortable situations, maybe tight spaces, depending on what you do. I'm a plumber, so I work in a lot of tight spaces. And it's funny why I chose plumbing, actually. I don't know how old I was. I was like, what? I want to say like 25, 26 years old. And I was living at my mom's house, and one day I just kind of sat down and decided, man, I gotta fucking do something. Because I don't want to be 30, still sitting at home, working these nothing teenager type jobs, So I looked up. I had a friend that was already doing plumbing. So I was like, okay, well, that seems to work out for him. So I started, typing stuff up on the computer, and basically I landed on two options. I was either going to become an electrician, or I was going to become a plumber. I've never been great at math, so one of the things that I looked up first was, do you need to be good at math to be an electrician? Like, I literally typed that in on Google. I remember it was like fucking 7 to 10 years ago, but for some reason I very vividly remember typing that in Google, and Google telling me, yes, you have to be very good at math to be a good electrician. So that alone steered me off from doing electric work, which is ironic because when I became a plumber, on the plumber's test, a big part of it was math, turning fractions into decimals and all this bullshit that I didn't want no part of. So sometimes I'm surprised I even made it this far doing plumbing. But yeah, that's basically one of the reasons, kind of a smaller reason, why I started doing comedy. The biggest reason is I realized I'm always making people laugh. And I enjoy it. You know, I make people laugh at work. I make my kids and my wife laugh at home. And you know, I'm always joking around with everybody constantly. Everything's a joke. You know, even in serious situations. You know, sometimes I'm like, I think of something funny, and I'm like, why the fuck are you thinking that? Just stop. And it got even worse when I started comedy, because now it's like my brain did that before, but I didn't have anything to do with it. I would just drive around by myself all day and think of funny shit, but just kind of like, you know, like laugh about it in my head. But now I have a reason to do it. And so that made my brain go. And the second I decided that I was going to start doing comedy, it's just a constant, like, it's like a fucking sickness. You know, I can't watch a movie without thinking, you know, without picking up my phone and, you know, you know, I'll repeat a little phrase or something that I might think is funny, or something that I can go off of. But yeah, I'm always thinking of funny shit even when I shouldn't be. Okay, we are still recording. Like I said, this is the first episode of the podcast. Very humble beginnings, but eventually, you know, the more I get going, I'll up the production value a little bit. I just have 2 kids and a wife and a home, so I have to pay the bills. I don't have a choice. I have people to feed. So I don't have a lot of money to spend on extra stuff. I found this microphone in my attic. Actually, I remember that I had it. Why did I have it? I actually used to record music. Not like, I mean, like, I wasn't trying to be like a rapper or, you know, or an artist or anything, I guess. I just loved like making music. I love creating. I love, you know, making videos, and because it wasn't even just like making music. I would make like little videos, you know, for my friends on Snapchat, and I would post them on Snapchat. I'd make little rap songs because I'd like to create music. And I think I'm just a creator. I like to create. I like to entertain. I've always kind of been an entertainer, so that's also a big reason why I started doing stand up. It's because I feel this need deep inside me to just like entertain. It's weird. My life is kind of like, I treat it like it's like a movie. Even before, like, I started doing stand up, I would like set up jokes in real life. I would set things up to make people say certain things so that I can hit them with the punchline. If that makes any sense. Probably sound like a crazy person, but that's just the reality of it. Yeah. So yeah, that's one reason. Another reason why I started doing comedy is because I'm just an entertainer. I love to entertain. I love to make people laugh. I'm like a dancing monkey. You know what I mean? I like to. That's me. You know. So that's honestly the biggest reason. I love making people laugh, and I feel like I've always just been an entertainer. My best experience doing comedy, I think I would say, I guess I don't have a best experience in particular, but I guess just getting laughs on stage, just writing something and then thinking, okay, this is funny. This might be funny because, and this goes for professional comedians too. We don't know if what we're writing is funny or not. We have no idea. It's funny to us, but it might not be funny to the person that you're saying it to, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I think one of the best feelings for me doing comedy is writing something, writing jokes, rehearsing them, practicing them, and then going out on stage and delivering them just how you planned on delivering them and just how you rehearsed it. And then getting laughs, getting the reaction that you wanted to get. That's, to me, that's the best feeling, I guess. Not experience, but I guess one of the best feelings that I've had doing comedy. One of the worst feelings, bombing. Yeah, bombing really sucks. I don't exactly know what the definition of bombing is yet. I have an idea because, I mean, I've done it. But sometimes when you're starting off as a comedian, you go to these open mics and, you know, sometimes it's people there that don't even like comedy. And if you don't like comedy, a lot of the times you're not going to understand it. And if you don't understand it, then you're not going to laugh at the jokes that are being told on stage. And half of these open mics, it's either other comedians who are also coming up who are watching your act, but they're not really watching your act. They're fucking rehearsing in their head, or they're nervous about going up on stage, or they're just waiting for their spot, basically. But sorry if it was covering my face a bit. Like I said, I'm learning the ropes. But yeah, and then if it's not a bunch of comics, it's a bunch of people that, like, for example, like bar shows, bar open mics. There's so many people that walk into a bar while the comedians are up there that don't even know that they're going to an open mic. They're thinking, I'm just going to go to a bar and have a drink. And then they get to the bar and they're like, oh, there's a guy talking on stage. There's a guy telling jokes on stage. Great. You know? Some people like it, but some people stay for a little bit. They check it out and they're like, oh, well, these comedians kind of suck. And they leave. Which is okay, you know? I don't expect anybody to stay, you know, if they don't want to, obviously, you know, because before I started doing comedy, you probably would define it. Before I started doing comedy, if I went to a bar just to chill and have a few drinks and, you know, just relax, and there was some dudes trying to be funny on stage, I'd probably be like, man, what the fuck is this? But now I'm a comedian, so I think about it a little different. Yeah. So one of the worst feelings actually is bombing. A cool bombing story. I guess not cool for me, but cool for y'all because y'all get to hear about it. It was a night where I went to 2 open mics in one night. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but to me, that's a lot. Because I'm getting off at 6 o'clock. I live like 30 to 45 minutes away from any of these open mics. I think the closest open mic that's to me is like maybe, I don't know, like 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm rushing home from work. I'm rushing at home, getting ready, you know, showering, scrubbing myself, getting myself, you know, all cleaned up because, you know, I'm fucking dirty as shit from work. And I start heading to these open mics. So everything is kind of like a rush. My whole life is like rushing. So yeah, there was a night where I did 2 open mics in one night. I had never done that before. It was a new set. I was trying, you know, like a new format. And I was trying some new stuff out, basically. And I went to the first open mic. It went great. I mean, it didn't go like great. Like, it's not like, you know, I'm starting as a comic, you know. It was great. It was progress. You know, I got consistent laughs. I didn't get any like knee slappers or anything like that, but I was getting the most consistent laughs that I've ever gotten on stage, and that made me feel good. And so I went to that one, and then there was one a little bit later at like this weed club. I'm not gonna say the name of the weed club because I mean I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble or anything. But yeah, there's this weed club where it's or a weed lounge, I guess, where you basically go to smoke weed and chill, and they have TVs and they have like a chessboard and a pool table, and on Wednesdays they do open mics. So I went to the first one. I was already amped up, I did good, I felt like I was like Eddie Murphy on Raw or something. I felt good. I was like, man, I'm killing it. Let's go. I'm gonna hit another one. I'm gonna kill it again. I'm gonna get some good footage for my Instagram or whatever. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do this shit. That was my attitude. I was listening to music. I was fucking pumped. I was fucking telling people in front of me to hurry the fuck up. I'm trying to get to this open mic. I'm ready to go. And I felt all good. I even got to the other open mic. I was like fucking with people. I was kind of being kind of cocky, you know what I mean? Which came back to bite me in the ass. Don't ever let pride get you, because it always comes back to bite you in the ass like it did me. But yeah, so I was feeling good, and it's a weed lounge. There's people smoking weed. So I did what I always do, or not what I always do, what I always did prior to this. I learned my lesson after this, but I'd be sitting there waiting to do my set, and I'll just be impatient. I'm an impatient guy. I'd just be watching the other comedians kind of like, come on, hurry the fuck up. Come on, like I'm ready to go. Not really like hurry the fuck up, you know what I mean? I would still watch their act, but in my head, I'm like, come on, let's go. Like, I want to go. I want to do this. I want to get this over with. I want to do it. Because I love performing and I love being on stage, but at the same time, sometimes I just want to get it over with just because the nerves, So I'm impatient, and I buy a joint, thinking, okay, I'm number 8 on the lineup. I'm usually like 2 or 3 when I go to this club or when I go to this weed lounge to do open mics. And so I'm like, okay, I can get a little high is what I'm thinking. I can get a little high. I'm up, number 8. If I get high now at the beginning of it, the high would have worn down, and I won't be as high anymore, and I'll be able to do my set good. Wrong. I smoked a joint. I smoked the whole thing to myself, and I went up on stage, and I had this bit about I started off my set. It was just a 5-minute set, and I started it off with this bit about how I look like a big tough guy with tattoos and a beard, but I really don't. I'm really not, because I don't like confrontation. Except I was high, and I'm not good at speaking when I'm high. At least not publicly when I'm on the spot. I get my words mixed up. I mispronounce them. So yeah, it didn't go well at all. First joke already off the bat, terrible. I said I don't like, instead of saying I don't like confrontation, I said I don't like confrontation. And when you're on stage as a comedian, it's not like being a musician, or it's not like being a musician. You don't have the instruments, to back you up, or you don't have other band members on stage, or dancers, or pyrotechnics, or anything like that. You have you, and that's it. At least at your typical comedy show. There's some people doing some crazy stuff now, but at your typical comedy show, most of the time it's just you on a microphone, so everyone's paying attention to you. So if you mess up on a word, everyone's gonna hear it, and everyone's gonna know that you messed up on that word. At least is how I think about it. So as soon as I said confrontation, in my head I'm like, fuck. First joke, I already fucked it up. So I decided in my head, okay, am I going to address that, or am I going to leave it alone? For some reason, I decided to address it. And I said something like confrontation. I corrected myself. I said confrontation. I think I said English. Hard, huh? Trying to save myself with a joke. And yeah, I fucked that one up. I kept going, and I fucked the next one up right after that. And so at this point, I'm already my whole set is fucked. I'm high as fuck on stage. I'm trying to think of the next joke. My brain is literally going like, doing that little air, paper jammed in the printer sound. Literally, like I could not fucking think of what I was gonna say next, and so I literally started saying like, man, I shouldn't have smoked weed. I just had a good set. I just went to another open mic just before this one, and I had a good set, and I got to this one, and I got high, and now I can't remember shit. And I was literally saying all of this on stage. Just like fucking rambling. I can't remember if I was trying to be funny or I don't know. Maybe I just hit panic mode and just started like blah, fucking diarrhea of words, which is probably what you should call it. And the funniest part about it is that I realized that my set was fucked because I fucked up the first joke, I fucked up the second joke, and now I'm on stage telling everybody about how I got too high and that's why I can't remember my set. So I kind of gave up on it already at this point. And this is like, I don't even know, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes in. So that I'm like, okay, the last joke that I told at the open mic before this one was just making sure we're still recording. Okay. So now back to the story. Where was I? Oh, so the last joke that I had told at the open mic was a joke that it goes, I would go, okay, so I spent the whole time talking about myself because the set was I was talking about myself when I was really, working some jokes in there. But I went, okay, well, now that I'm done talking about myself, I guess I can get one joke in. And I acted like, I was thinking of something, and I would go, oh, okay. There's a lot of Hispanics in here, so I'll leave y'all with this one. And I'd go, knock, knock, and then I would point the microphone at the audience. And they would go, who's there? And then I'd go, ICE, go back to your own fucking country. Good night, everybody. And then I just walk off stage, and that killed. So in my head, I'm on stage. My set's already fucked. I'm like, okay, I gotta get at least one good joke in. So I was like, I'm gonna throw this last one in there. So at least I can go off. These people can remember a good joke from me, So I go, okay, well, I fucked the other one. I fucked the other jokes up. So, but maybe I could tell this one. And then I skipped the. This is for my Hispanics. I was either supposed to say, there's a lot of Hispanics in here, so I'll say this one, or if there wasn't any Hispanics in there, I was supposed to say, well, this one's supposed to be for my Hispanics, but I'll go ahead and say it anyway. Either way, I skipped saying the part where I basically said, this is for my Hispanics, and I jumped directly into the knock knock, which fucked the whole thing up, because the main part of the joke was it was for Hispanic people, because ICE and the whole deportation thing, So yeah, I couldn't even get the last joke right. So I went basically, so I fucked up all the other jokes, but I'll leave y'all at least with this one. And then I fucked that up too. So yeah, that alone right there was probably one of my worst experiences doing comedy. But besides that, it hasn't been too bad. I've met a lot of cool people. I've been to a lot of cool places that I've never been before, mainly in San Antonio. I don't have the money to travel, state to state, as much as I'd like to. Also, I have a family. I can't just leave them behind because I have family values. I value my family, and I'm a family man, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not good with words. Even when I'm sober, I guess. But yeah, I'm 30 years old, by the way. I've been told I look like I'm like 25, which I like to think is a good thing. But I wish I had started comedy when I was 25. and not 30. The reason why I think that is just because now I'm like giving myself, like, I don't say it out loud, or I don't like think about this every day, or it doesn't like stress me out like a great amount or anything, but sometimes I don't know, I give myself this deadline towards like, okay, I'm gonna do comedy for 10 years, I'm gonna do this shit for 10 years, and then if I'm 40 and I hadn't made it yet, then I'm gonna quit, because I'm starting to see that this is a young man's game, and I'm not old, but I mean, fuck, if I was 40, 45, maybe 50, I don't know if I'd have the energy to do this, because I mean, I'm 30 and I'm tired as fuck all the time now, which is why I got my fucking coffee here trying to do this podcast. That sounded weird, but that's okay. We'll move on. Yeah. So sometimes I think I'm too old. I just ate. I don't know why my stomach is growling. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but maybe it's because I'm fat, getting fatter. I'm not fat, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I'm getting sidetracked here. I feel like I don't feel like I'm too old. I just feel like I should have started a little bit earlier. Like, I would have loved to start comedy at like 23 to like 25, instead of drinking and doing drugs and smoking pot and wasting my time, basically wasting my 20s. Because who knows, if I would have started then, I probably would be a lot further now. I probably would be a lot better at it now. And who knows? But hey, I'm glad that I found it, even if I found it when I'm 30. I'm just glad that I found it, because before I had like all this, like, I wouldn't say built up energy, but I just felt the need to like I was saying earlier, I would think of funny shit to say all day, and I would think of like these skit ideas and these funny things, these funny ideas, but they were just ideas. I didn't have anything to do with them. And so now that I'm a comedian, or a starting comedian, I guess, some people would be like, that guy's not a comedian, he doesn't even have a special yet. Whatever, fuck you. A starting stand-up comedian, how about that? An amateur stand-up comedian, if you want to get fancy with it. But yeah, fuck, my neck hurts. I need a better chair than this. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I wish I would have started a little bit younger. But yeah, I always back to always wanting to be an entertainer. I've always wanted to be an entertainer. Growing up, me and my brother were always filming movies. My dad had this old camcorder and this old tripod stand that he had from the 90s. One of those old school ones where you would pop it open on the side and it would pop open and you would put the cassette in there and you would close it. It was one of those. So, yeah, we would film like little movies. I mean, we never did anything with them. We were just kids fucking playing, but, we would dress up and we would, create scenes and, just kid shit. But we were trying to make movies. Essentially, we were playing like we were making movies. And even not just with my brother, actually. There was a time in our lives where me and my friends started we played Tony Hawk Underground 2. I remember after that's what turned us into skaters, because it turned from playing Tony Hawk Underground 2 at my friend's house every day to, hey, let's try these things that we're doing on the game. Let's try them in real life. And then that kind of transitioned into us watching MTV and watching Viva La Bam, and like Jackass and, all those crazy MTV shows. And we really loved Jackass. We really liked Jackass because Bam Margera was on it, and Bam Margera was our favorite skater at the time. And Yeah, we were basically like little fanboys trying to be like our little skater hero that we had. So we had this idea that we would take said camcorder and record ourselves doing stunts around the neighborhood. And they weren't like anything like on the fucking actual Jackass TV shows. We were just kids with a fucking camcorder, so we would do stupid shit like I remember I was good, or at least I thought I was good. Maybe I looked like an idiot because I was a kid and I thought I was good. But I was good at like running into like walls and like like pretending like going like that and pretending like like I knocked myself out on the wall. I mean, and really I wasn't. You know what I mean? But I was good at making it look like. At least I thought I was good at making it look like it was because I had long hair and I'd flip my head back and my hair would go back and I'd look real dramatic and I was good at doing that. And I remember one time we were filming something in front of my house. It was like a stunt. My dad and my mom were upstairs and we were in the driveway, me and my friends with the camcorder set up, doing God knows what. I don't even remember what the stunt was that we were filming, but I like how I do this every time I say stunt. But this kid, I think his name was, and hopefully I don't get in any trouble for saying his name. I don't think I will because I doubt he would even ever watch this. But his name was DeCarlo, I remember, and he was that friend that we had that we hung out with, but we kind of hated on him a little bit. Not even a little bit, like a lot. Because he was always like real stuck up and he acted like he was better than everybody else, Because his dad was in the Navy or the Army. I think it was the Navy, but I don't remember which one. It was a long time ago. And he got everything he wanted, you know what I mean? So he always had like more stuff than us, and we just really didn't like him. We were hating on him. We were grade A haters, we was hating on him. But really we just didn't like how he acted. He acted like he was better than everybody else. And so we're at my house using my camcorder, and we're filming a stunt, and we had some kind of disagreement. I couldn't even remember what it was. I wouldn't even be able to tell you. But we had some kind of disagreement about the way that the stunt was going to go. The way that the stunt was gonna go, and or how we were gonna do it. Something we disagreed about something, and he basically said, not verbatim because this was a long time ago, but he basically said like, no, we're not gonna do it that way. We're gonna do it my way. Fuck off. I don't know if he said fuck off, but it's basically what he was telling me. And so my thought process in that moment, I had never been in like an actual fight. So I didn't know how to fight. So I was going off by like what I had seen in like on the Disney Channel and like, fucking movies growing up and shit. So I'm thinking, who the fuck is this kid? Who the fuck is this guy to tell me, because I was a kid too. Who the fuck is this dude to tell me what the fuck I'm gonna do at my fucking house with my fucking camcorder? I was like, I'm the fucking director and the producer, bitch. I call the fucking shots. I was like Christian Bale yelling at the fucking cast members when he got in trouble for yelling at a bunch of people. I don't know too much about that. But, yeah, basically I took it as like very disrespectful. And I remember putting him in a headlock. I had him in a headlock like that, and I was just like socking him. Just fucking socking him. And fucking, I didn't let him go. I was like socking him, and I forgot how the fight even ended. I forgot if he ran off, if I let go. I don't know. I forgot. I just remembered me and my other friends that were there, my brother, stayed at my house. I lived, up the hill. He lived down the hill. On the street that we lived on, On the street that we lived on. And, I remember he went and he got his dad, which I don't know what the fuck his dad was going to do. Like, that was like a super bitch move, even now that I think about it. You get in a fight with a kid and you go and you get your dad, like it wasn't even like he wasn't even bleeding. We weren't even bleeding. It was like more like a tussle, you know. And anyway, he got mad, so he went and he got his dad, and his dad's like this big fucking Navy SEAL dude. He's like fucking, I don't know how tall he was. Maybe he just seemed this tall because he was a lot taller than my dad, and because I was a kid. But I mean, this motherfucker was like 7'4" or something. This motherfucker was big, and my dad's just like a regular guy. My dad's like 5 foot, 10, 11. He's about my height, so probably like 5'11". And my dad sees that there's this adult outside talking to us in front of his house. So he comes outside and he's like, okay, what's going on here? Who are you and why are you talking to my son like this? And my dad, he's kind of a hothead. He's a little less of a hothead now that he's older. I just don't think he has the energy for it anymore. But sorry if y'all can't see my face too good. I'm still trying to figure this out. But my dad was he's always been kind of like a hothead. You know what I mean? It doesn't take long for him to like, doesn't take long. So almost immediately, it was like a yelling match between him and my dad. And I'm sitting there watching my dad, and my dad's talking shit to this guy, like literally fucking looking up at him like this, like fucking talking shit to him. And I'm just like looking at him and looking at my dad, looking at him and looking at my dad, like, Dad, like, don't do this. You don't want this. Stop. This guy is going to fucking kill you. This guy's a Navy SEAL. I mean, don't do it. So don't do it. I don't know if we're going to keep the I might edit that out. I don't know if I should have said that. And I don't know if it makes sense because I also said he's in the Navy and not the Army. But if the Arab comment didn't give it away, which was also not correct. But whatever. It was a bad joke. Let's move past it. So yeah, I'm looking at my dad fighting this dude, and I'm like, Dad, don't do this. You know what I mean? And it ended up not being nothing. You know what I mean? I forgot exactly how it ended, but he ended up going home. My dad ended up going inside. I think my dad was just like, nah, call it a day, pack it up, go inside, after that. So yeah, that was the first time I had ever been in a fight. Yeah. And after that, actually, another time where I got into some trouble in my neighborhood growing up. I don't remember if we were filming or if we were just messing around. But they used to have these like plastic bike ramps. I don't know if they were bike ramps, but they were plastic ramps. It was like a ramp. I don't know what you call it. It was like the ramp part. Then a little section in the middle, and then the ramp going down. And we used to jump that shit on our bikes. We used to just go up the hill and just fucking jump it. And we got tired of doing that. And my dad had this, it was called an ab dolly. I don't know if that's the actual name for it or if that's like the company name or the brand name. Because I think it was like one of those infomercial things. I think my dad got it, when I was a kid off of one of those infomercial things, because my parents were always like, or my dad at least was always like working out and trying to get strong and, his health and, so, and it was just sitting in the garage. And so we used it as kind of like I didn't really explain what it was, I guess. An ab dolly was this thing where you held it like that with your arms. It had a handle here and it had a place to put your elbows. So a handle and then, like a place to rest your elbows. And you would basically sit on your knees. I'm going to try the best to do this. And you would, extend yourself like that and then basically bring yourself back using your ab muscles. If that makes any sense. That was a horrible example of me showing you. But yeah, and one of the kids that I would hang out with got on it, and we decided to push him. It had wheels. We decided to push him down the street, and he would go over the ramp and up and down. And we were all he did it, and we kind of all just started doing it, monkey see, monkey do. It was fun. And then we all had our bikes, though. And for some reason, again, this ties into watching MTV and watching Jackass and thinking, oh, we can do these things in real life. If they're doing it, we can do it, even though it clearly on the show says, do not try this at home. We tried it at home. Anyway, so he comes back down, and when he's coming back down, for some reason, I decided that it was a good idea and that it would be funny if I threw my bike at him as he was coming down. I didn't really want to hurt him. I thought it would be funny, I thought it'd be like a prank, So I did it. Only issue was that I don't know if y'all remember, but when you're a kid and you have a bike and it has the rubber grips on the handles, and after a while of using it and just throwing it on the ground and with the wear and tear, eventually the little grips at the end would rip off, or they would wear off, and it would just be like the metal framing for the handles, I guess is what you would call it. So the metal, I guess, basically said, and it had like a real it was like a tube, so it had like a real sharp edge, which is why it probably had it was padded right there at the end too. Those were worn out, so I threw the bike at him, and the end of one of those handles clipped his eyebrow right here and fucking split him open, like he was fucking leaking. And out of everyone in the group, this was probably the only kid you didn't want to do that to, because his brothers were in and out of jail. I don't want to say in and out of jail, but his brothers were... There were some thug ass dudes, you know what I mean? There were some real ass dudes, and they were crips. At least that's what I had heard. So when he went to go tell his dad, I was fucking terrified. I was thinking it was all bad. I was thinking my life is over. My parents' life is over. They're gonna fucking come and drive by this fucking house and shoot us all up. We're all fucking dead. That's literally what was going through my head. I mean, I was a kid, so I'd watched too many movies. I'd seen Boys in the Hood, and I was just like, fuck, dude, that's gonna happen to me now. They're gonna fucking come over here and Ricky me. And I didn't want to get Rickied. So I'm in there fucking crying and running around frantically, literally panicking. About to have a heart attack. Telling my dad what happened, and my dad, I just did this and this happened, and I can't believe this is happening and all this, and dude, I remember fucking none of that happened. His dad came with his two brothers, and honestly, I don't remember really how that went. I remember it there probably wasn't really an altercation from what I remember. Because if I remember the other altercation that my dad had with that fucking tall ass Navy SEAL, I feel like I would have remembered this one. But I don't think anything came from it. The only thing that came from it is that that kid's brothers and that kid's dad. I'm saying kid. I know his name, but I don't want to, put his name out there. So I'm just gonna call him Kid for now. This kid's brothers just didn't like me for a while. And his dad didn't like me. He didn't like me, and he didn't like my brother. And it was to the point where if we were all playing outside and we were like, oh, let's go to so and so's house, I was like, oh, well, I'll see y'all later, because they fucking hate me there. So that's a wow. I almost forgot about that. Actually, I haven't thought about that in like years. That's crazy. But no, yeah. I guess mainly what I was talking about is how I was always creating stuff when I was younger. Yeah. So growing up, I did a lot of different things growing up. That was my first fight, but after that, the fight in front of my house was the first fight. But after that, I had been in some other scuffles, you know, some other fights. They weren't too brutal. Um, I mean, because I wasn't that big, so what the fuck was I gonna do? And back then, at least when I was in middle school, the seventh graders and the eighth graders were like fucking big. Like when I got to middle school, I was like, man, these eighth graders are fucking real. These dudes are fucking men. These are men. These are fucking men. But I mean, they just look old, man. And maybe it's because I went to like my school was kind of ghetto, which I didn't think this back then because to me it was just kind of like the norm. But my school was kind of ghetto. Elementary school, middle school, and high school. I didn't realize my elementary school that I went to was ghetto until I thought back on how they used to do attendance in the morning. And instead of getting all the kids to their classes first and then doing attendance in class, the whole school would literally do attendance all at the same time in the gym in the morning before class. I remember they would sit us down in the rows of the classroom that we were in, or the teacher that taught us, and they would give us these little tickets. If you were quiet, they gave you a ticket. You know what I mean? That's how they got you to shut the fuck up. If you're quiet, they gave you a ticket. And then after they did attendance, the principal will go up there on the microphone and read out a ticket number. And if that was your ticket, you got to go to the office and you got to pick out a prize from the prize box, which was always like some fucking 50-cent bullshit, like a fucking eraser or a fucking grip for your pencil or some bullshit, you know what I mean? Just fucking tricks to get fucking kids to behave. It's insane. Fucking manipulating us and shit. Fuckers. Nah, but hey, man, we were some badass kids, though. We needed to be manipulated, some of us. But anyway, yeah, I realized that my elementary school was kind of ghetto after thinking about that. Thinking about how the whole school, they just sat us down in the gym in the morning, told us to shut the fuck up, and then the whole school just did attendance at the same time. And then I remember they always played "We're Walking on Sunshine." Oh, when we would walk to class, they'd play that. We're walking on sunshine. Oh, and it makes me feel good. And you're gonna class like, oh, right now, it makes me feel good. We was jigging up in that bitch, man. We was jigging. Nah, but yeah, and then I realized that I didn't actually realize my middle school was also ghetto until now. Thinking about it, we had this thing in middle school called dots and lines, and basically what it was this game that we played, and it was basically like two gangs. Like you were either a dot or you were a line, and I forgot if it was on the outside of your hand or on the palm of your hand. I'm pretty sure it was on the outside of your hand. You would either draw a dot or you would draw a line. And so people would see you in the hallway. Like, for example, if I was a line and I saw a dot, I'd be like, oh, what's up? So you a dot then, huh? You a dot? Let's go fight in the restroom, and we would go fight in the restroom. It wasn't really a fight. We would call it 10 seconds. We're like, let's go do 10 seconds in the restroom. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was basically, and you would need another person there. So it would be you and the person you were fighting, and then another person counting to 10. So, you'd be y'all, you and the person you were fighting in the restroom, and the other person would go, all right, go. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'd basically fight until he said 10. But sometimes that motherfucker said 10 and people kept fighting, you know? And then, I remember, I forgot which one I was, but I remember those were some of the first actual fights that I had ever been in. Yeah, and I remember I would do this thing where I'll just swing wild. I thought that was like a good technique. I thought as soon as he said go, I'm just gonna fucking, and what? They're not gonna be able to hit me if I just fucking, and it worked the first few times. But then there was this other time where it didn't work. And I remember I fought this. He wasn't big, I guess, but he was tall. He was way taller than me. This kid named Anthony. And, he was a dot and I was a line, or the other way around. And so, 10 seconds in the restroom. So we go and do 10 seconds. And I'm pretty sure this was one of those that went on after the 10 seconds. But I don't really remember much of what happened. I just remember how it ended. And how it ended was me on my knees on the floor. Like let me try my best to do this and explain it to you at the same time. Like this, kneeling on the floor, and him just just wailing on me, like my back, just like, and I'm just sitting there like, when is it over? Literally, damn, I just had such a vivid memory right there of that. And yeah, that was the first time, well, I wouldn't say it was the first time I got my ass beat. The first time I got my ass beat, like pieced up, I would say, because I mean, that was just, I think we were just doing body shots, we would do this thing where it was just body shots, you know what I mean? If you wouldn't fuck up your face, or you didn't want to get in trouble, in school, what were you doing? You were in a fight, we would just do body shots, so you didn't fuck up your face and people didn't know you were in a fight. So I wouldn't say I got my ass beat, the first time I could say I got my ass handed to me was, we were at lunch, and there was this kid, I want to say, I don't remember his name. We'll go ahead and call him Jeffrey. Okay? This probably was not his name, but we're going to go ahead and call him Jeffrey for now. Okay, so Jeffrey was a blood, was a blood, the whole gang thing. I don't know how to do gang signs, but you catch my drift, right? Yeah, he was in I don't know if he was really in a gang, but he claimed that he was a blood. He wore red every day, and that was his thing. I'm a blood, so woo, that kind of stuff. And I don't know what made me tell him this, or where I was going with this, or why I even did this, but I kind of one day was just like, you're not a real blood, right? Like, hey, come on, bro. Like, you're not real. You're in middle school. Ain't no way you're a real gangster. You know what I mean? There's no way you're just playing, bro. Come on. Like, you ain't no blood, is basically what I told him. And that's when I found out how serious people take labels like that. Because he didn't even, respond to it. He was just like, oh, yeah? You think I ain't real? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, let's go to the restroom and we'll find out if I'm real. So we're at lunch. Cut to, we're walking in the fucking hallway, with a couple people behind us that, heard the whole thing. And people are literally passing me by in the hallway and looking at him like, oh, you're going to fight? You're going to fight him? Damn, dude, good luck, dude. You're going to get your fucking ass beat. Literally, people are telling me this on the way to go get my ass beat. So already I'm like, fuck, this was a mistake. Why did I have to say that? Why the fuck did I have to speak my mind? What the fuck? Why couldn't I keep my mouth fucking shut? But it was too late for that. So I didn't want to act like a bitch. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I remember acting all like, not necessarily cocky, but I was acting like I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? Like I didn't just make a mistake. And so I remember we get to the restroom, and even though I'm acting like I'm not scared, I was. You know what I mean? The people passing me by in the hallway, telling me, "Oh, you're gonna get your ass beat." You know, "Oh, you're gonna get your ass fucking handed to you." That got to me a little bit. You know. And honestly, I wasn't telling him. I wasn't trying to fight him. I don't think. I think I was just talking, and I was a fucking stupid kid. So I said the wrong thing. But anyway, I went to the restroom, and I remember. Actually, this is where I was going with this. I acted like a Billy Badass, but I was scared. You know what I mean? I didn't want to fight this dude. This dude was bigger than me. You know what I mean? Not only in height, but he was, stockier than me. And so I hit him with the body shots. We're doing body shots, right? Body shots? So he's just like, yeah, body shots. It was not body shots. Literally, I just remember it felt like he was just going like this. Doo, 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 and I was just going, fucking getting wailed on. And so basically, yeah, I just remember getting my ass beat for 10 to 20 seconds in the restroom, and then going to class immediately after that. And that was when I felt my first ass beating. I went to fucking class, and my face felt like a fucking balloon. Like, it felt like it was just filled with air. And I guess he didn't beat my ass that bad, because he didn't like cut me open or anything. Because I mean, we were friends, you know what I mean? I just think I overstepped my boundaries a little bit, and I said the wrong thing. And so he tuned me up a little bit, but I feel like he held back, because thinking about it now, he could have fucked me up if he wanted to, and he didn't. He kind of just tuned me up a little bit, and we were also in middle school, so maybe he didn't want me to go back to class with my fucking face, torn apart, to have the teacher ask me like, hey, what happened? Who did this? He didn't know that if I was going to snitch or not. But I don't know. I don't know why he didn't, go 100% on me, or maybe he did. I don't know. I just remembered that you couldn't even tell I had gotten in a fight. Because I remember sitting in class thinking, man, like everyone's looking at me, like thinking my face was like swollen and fucking fucked up, and it wasn't, because I didn't have time to stop and look at myself in the mirror after getting my ass beat. I had to get to class. So it was literally like getting my ass beat at lunch, class right after. So yeah, it was not a good day in math class for me. I don't think I learned any math that day. Which is why I'm not good at math now as an adult from that experience. I'm just kidding. I've never been good at math. I've always been kind of. Oh, we'll probably cut that out too, because I don't know if you can say that word on YouTube. Like I said, we're just getting started, so I'm learning the ropes. But yeah, besides that, I wasn't really a big fighter growing up. But the schools that I did go to were kind of ghetto. In middle school, there was a kid that came to school with weed and a gun. In 6th grade, we were like 12 years old, I think. 12 to 13 years old. I don't remember exactly how old we were, but yeah, he basically came to school with a bag of weed. I think it was like a dime bag, and a gun, a little pistol. Not on like some school shooter type shit, but more like, hey, I'm a gangster. This is how gangster I am. Look, I got a bag of weed and a gun, which in turn wasn't gangster at all. The kid was a fucking idiot. he got expelled from school after that. And who knows if he was charged or if his parents were charged with anything, or who knows, you know? But yeah, and the high school that I went to was pretty ghetto too. I'm not gonna say it was like the most ghetto. I mean, I don't know what most ghetto would be, but it was pretty ghetto, you know. I don't know if they have this in other high schools or not, but there was days where we would have police dogs come and sniff out the lockers, and they would bring them to classes, and they would sniff around the class and sniff around everybody's backpack, and literal police dogs. Like, I didn't think about this until like the other day, and I was like, you know what? That sounds like some ghetto ass shit. You know, like, what kind of kids do you have going to your school where you have to have a whole fucking day where you have literally like, because it wasn't like one police dog. It was like a squad of cops or the police and then their police dogs. And they would search the whole fucking school. It was a big ass fucking school. Yeah, and the dogs would go around the school and sniff people's backpacks, and kids would get arrested for having weed or whatever it was that they had. Yeah, and then also there was a Mexicans versus Black Day every year at school. So imagine what that was like. You know, the white people were probably like, whew, good thing we're not involved. But I'm brown, and even though I'm not technically, or I don't know why I said technically, even though I'm not Mexican, I still look very Mexican. And so to the average person who probably doesn't know me, probably thinks I'm Mexican. So how do you think that feels? Because it was, I mean, you would literally get off of school and nothing popped off during school. It always popped off after school. You'd get out of school and literally fights would, you would leave the school parking lot and there was fights fucking breaking out like everywhere. Not like everywhere, like, you know, like in the middle of the street, but like, you know, like in ditches in the surrounding neighborhoods, or like, you know, like behind a dumpster, or, you know, basically just kids getting their ass beat privately in like secluded places, I guess you can say. But I made it. I survived. Yeah, we did a lot of stupid shit when we were younger, man. We used to steal a lot. A lot of people don't believe me, or I don't think they believe me, at least, when I tell some of these stories from when we were younger, but we used to steal a lot. We were a gang of thieves, I guess. And it was weird because it's what we'd like. It's what we liked to do. And then eventually, you know, it started off, we would steal, like, it started when we were smoking weed, I guess. We would smoke weed, and we'd get the munchies. You know, we didn't have any fucking money. We were kids. So we would walk to Walmart or Walgreens or the gas station or whatever, and we would steal candy. Actually, it started off stealing candy, and it ended up to where we were just stealing. Like, it started off small, and then it ended fucking big. Like, I can't even believe we used to do this shit. So I would wear a jacket. Me and my friends would go to Walmart. A lot of people say, I always say that weird, but we go to Walmart, and I would wear this big jacket, and everybody knows at Walmart there's always a bunch of cash registers without any cashiers. Why? I still don't know to this day. But I would go to a cash register. You know how they have the bags there at the end of them for the cashier to bag up your groceries? Well, I would go and I would take some bags, take them off the little holder, and I would shove them in my jacket. And I would kind of like hold him with my arm like that. And as we would walk through the store with the shopping cart, we would put things in the shopping cart that we wanted to steal. But we were riding around with the shopping cart so it could look like, like we were going to buy them. We were fucking Oceanings 11 this shit, for real. And, yeah, we would put everything we wanted, fucking, like, ridiculous shit, man. Like, fucking fried chicken, fucking, like, just ridiculous shit, man. We were fucking stoned kids. We were hungry. We didn't give a fuck. Fried chicken, cookies, anything we can get our hands on. Sodas, whatever it was. And we would fill up the cart. And when we were done, we would go into aisles, where there wasn't really anybody, and we would bag the shit up in the aisle. I would take out the bag and we would put the fucking what was to be stolen merchandise in the bags. Because at the time, Walmart didn't have the people at the entrance that would, check your receipt. They didn't have that yet. So our logic was, well, if it's fucking bagged up and we're walking out, if someone that works here sees it, they're going to be like, oh, well, they fucking bought them because they're all bagged up, And so that was the idea. And we got away with it a few times. And then they started catching on. And I'm talking about shopping carts full of shit. Like to the top. Like you would think we went fucking... You would think a family went grocery shopping. That's how bad it was. And there was this one time where we were out past curfew and we were going to spend the night at my buddy's house. And he basically told us it was like I don't know if it was a summertime or if it was a Friday, but we didn't have any school the next day. And he basically told us like, hey, yeah, you could spend the night. Y'all can spend the night at my house. My dad said, yeah, but we don't have any fucking food at my house. My parents haven't done groceries yet, so y'all literally wouldn't be able to eat nothing. So we're like, okay, it's fine, no biggie. His neighborhood was located across the street. It wasn't like a little street. It was like I don't know what you would call it. It's not a highway. It's a big street. It's like a 4-lane street, where cars go like 50 plus miles an hour. So it wasn't a little street. It was what I'm trying to say. It was a pretty major street. Yeah, I'm bad at geography or roads or whatever it is. I don't know what's an interstate. I don't know the difference between an interstate and a highway. I didn't go to school for that. So I don't know that. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. His neighborhood that he lived in was across the street from the Walmart. So our thought process was, okay, your dad doesn't have any food? That's cool. We're going to go to Walmart, steal a bunch of shit before we go to your dad's. And then we'll go to your dad's and we can get stoned and we can fucking munch out and play games and do whatever the fuck we were going to do. And so I remember I had this Element backpack. And it was like a big backpack, because it was like, one of those skateboarder backpacks where you could put it had the straps for the skateboard and, it had like all this, all this extra space in there for God knows what. But, yeah, we had the backpack and I walked in with the backpack and I remember we had stolen, we didn't end up stealing anything, but, we were walking around and it's late already. This was when Walmart used to be open overnight. And I think it was like 11 o'clock or something. I'm pretty sure we were out past curfew because I think we were walking there and we were ducking cars, because I grew up in Converse and there's a lot of cops in Converse driving around all the time. And we were aware of that. So anytime we were out past curfew being bad, we knew like where to hide, or there's a lot of buildings, on the street that I'm talking about. There's a lot of businesses. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a busy street. So we would walk behind the buildings and a car would come and be like, okay, get down. And we get down in the ditch or behind a car or whatever it may be. And so it was 11 o'clock you know, it was already late. There wasn't that much people there. And I don't know if they had secret workers beforehand, but this was our first time like encountering one. This was like the first time that we even ever realized that there was secret workers at Walmart and, you know, in retail stores. We hadn't thought of it yet. We didn't know it existed. So I remember we are walking around, and I think in the backpack that I was wearing, or I don't know if I was wearing it or my buddy was wearing it. It was three of us, me, my buddy, and then my other buddy. We're going to call them Ace and Steve. So at some point I give the bag to Steve and I tell him, I don't tell him anything. The names are throwing me off. Steve has the bag. Steve has the backpack. He has like the cookies that we were planning on stealing in the backpack. And we were looking currently for other shit to steal. So I don't remember who saw him, but I'm pretty sure it was me, but I might be remembering it incorrectly. But I remember seeing the same guy in all the aisles that we were in. And then I remember him like seeing him looking at us. And like I remember seeing him and us making eye contact and him pretending like he wasn't, like, you know, like sitting there pretending like he wasn't, you know, a secret worker, like he wasn't doing his fucking job and trying to catch us stealing. So I see that dude's kind of eyeing us. So, and again, we don't know what secret workers are at this point in our lives. And I go to my friends. I'm like, hey, maybe we shouldn't steal right now because that guy's fucking watching us and he keeps following us. And I don't know. I don't know who this dude is. So we decide not to steal. We put the cookies back. I think I had eaten one of them or something, you know, before we put them in the backpack. I don't know. But we basically decide, let's not steal. That guy's watching us. We don't want to get in trouble. Let's put it back. But I did the, you know, me being a stupid, young, cocky, you know, idiot. Because I was young and stupid and I had a lot of bad influences in my life. And I listened to a lot of rap music when I was young. But I thought I was a gangster. So I told myself, fuck that. I was like, I'm thirsty as fuck. We've been walking because it was like we were coming from my house and it was like a mile walk from like my house to the Walmart, you know. So we were thirsty. So I was like, fuck that. I'm thirsty. I'm gonna grab a Coke. I'm gonna drink some of it and I'm just gonna put it back. Fuck it, you know. Like I said, piece of shit kid. So that's what I did. For some reason, that whole thing that the guy was watching me and that he was following us, and somehow that all went out the window. Somehow I just disregarded that, and I was like, fuck that guy. I'm going to drink a fucking soda right in front of him, and then I'm going to put it back, you know? Or maybe I didn't know that he was watching us. I don't know. I don't know what my thought process was, like I said. But anyway, he sees me do this. He didn't see us steal the other stuff. He didn't see me. He didn't see us put it back, or maybe he did see us put it back. But he did see me take a drink of the soda, shut it, and put it back. And so he saw that. I remember, so we all know how Walmart's, the entrances are set up. There's usually like the enter and then the exit. And then sometimes there's a little benches in the middle. At least this is how this one was set up. So it was the entrance, the exit, and then there was like a little side hallway where, you know, they have like, you know, the red box or what used to be red box, I guess. And, you know, the little games for the kids or whatever, you know, and then, you know, another side exit, I guess is what you would call it. So, he sees me do that, you know, he sees that we're in a group. So, he's like, okay, all three of y'all come here. We're going to go in this room and we're going to talk. Really what he meant was, we're going to go in this room and you're all going to sit here until the fucking cops get here. And then they're going to decide what to do with y'all. And so we're all kind of following him, kind of looking at each other like, fuck, like, are we going to give up? Is this it? Like, are we going to let this happen right now? You know? And I remember very vividly, it was my buddy Steve in front of me, and then it was me, and then it was Ace. And then beside my buddy Steve in front of me was the secret worker, and my buddy Steve had the backpack on. And when we were walking, I think, on the entrance side. So we were walking here, the benches were here, and then, the exit, and then the little hallway, and then the side exit. So Matt just kind of, said his name, didn't I? Well, whatever. We're going to call him Matt now. So his name is Matt. I didn't want to get anybody in any trouble, but whatever. It was a long time ago. His name is Matt. Matt's decides to hit like a football move on the secret worker guy and fucking fakes like he's going to go in the room, and then fakes back the other way, goes over the benches, and then out through the hallway and out the side door, And so while all that was happening, the secret worker, since Matt has the backpack on at this point, as he's jumping over the benches, he tries to grab him by the backpack and he misses. So while he's reaching for it, I see an opening. I'm like, okay, he's reaching this way. Exit's right here. I'm going to fucking go for it. So I go for it. And I try to make it in time to where I could just run past him and he can't catch me, And except he catches me. And he doesn't like catch me, but he kind of just like, trucks me into the sliding doors. And those sliding doors, by the way, they slide like that, but that little window that they slide behind, all that opens, like for like emergencies or something, because he slammed me into that. If that makes any sense of how I was explaining it. Next time you go to Walmart, pay attention. You might know what I'm talking about. But anyway, all that flies open. So he kind of tackles me into that. I go into the doors. They fly open. But as he's tackling me, I punch him in the face as hard as I can. I don't remember how hard it was. I don't remember. Maybe it didn't faze him. Maybe it didn't, but it was enough to where he was like, yeah, I'm not going to chase this one anymore. I'm going to go for the other one. And so I'm already out the door. He's already tackled me into the door. The fucking thing flew open. I'm already halfway across the parking lot. There's like people. I'm like running fucking past people. They're like, oh, what the fuck was this criminal doing? Nothing will make you feel like a criminal more than running from the cops and passing by innocent bystanders, and they're looking at you like, what could you have possibly done to have the cops coming after you right now? But anyway, so once he decides he's not going to go after me, he decides to go after Ace. I'm already out the door, and for some reason, Ace decides to fucking run back in the store. And I had talked to him about it after. He said his plan was to go back inside the store, run to the other side, like, how they have like the grocery section and like the home or pharmacy, whatever you call it, section. The other section of the store that's not food. He was trying to run to that section, and he was trying to exit through the gardening area. But then when he got there, they had locked all the other exits, and the exit that we were exiting from was the only exit that was open, which he basically was trapped, and they caught him. And so me and my other friend, we're already out the store. We're already across the street in his neighborhood, hiding. I'm thinking the fucking cops are after us. I'm calling people from school. I remember I called this kid and I was like, hey, where you at? Is your mom home? Can we hide in your backyard? We just got caught stealing at fucking Walmart. The cops are probably looking for us. Can we hide in your backyard? So he was a good sport about it. And he was like, yeah, I'm not there right now, but yeah, go ahead and, hide in my backyard. Just be quiet so my mom doesn't know y'all are back there. So we're like, all right, cool. And we actually ended up not doing that. But I remember we're like, man, me and I guess you know his name now. Me and Matt are like, well, where's Ace? Where the fuck is Ace? Where is he at? We're supposed to be spending the night at his house. Where the fuck's he at? Because, we just ran. You know what I mean? It was like no man left behind, So we're fucking calling him, and he doesn't answer. So we're like, fuck, maybe he got caught. So we're calling him, and finally he picks up the phone. Only it's not him that picks up. He picks up, and the first thing I go is like, "Hey, Austin, where you at, dude? Where you at?" And a fucking cop responds to me. I guess he had me saved as Juan, which is my name. And first thing I hear is, "What's up, Juan? What are you doing running from Walmart, Juan?" So I'm like, all right, hang up that phone call right now. And I mean, nothing really happened, to him. He didn't like actually get arrested or anything. We were still juveniles. If we were like grown adults, it probably would have been a lot worse. But he didn't get arrested. They just called his dad, I guess. And his dad picked him up, and I just remember walking in his neighborhood, being like a mile away from my house. I already told my parents I was spending the night at this dude's house. So I'm not going to call him and be like, "Hey, I'm actually going back home because we got caught stealing." So that ship sailed, spending the night at his house, because we were walking in his neighborhood. As we were waiting for him, his dad passes by with Ace in the car, and he looks at us and he's like, "What the fuck are y'all doing? You fucking idiots? Fucking stealing from Walmart?" And we're just like, "Yeah, I know. Oh, man, like, what could we say, And he's just like, "Y'all know y'all ain't spending the night now, though, right?" And we're just like, "Yeah, we kind of knew that already." And so then we had to walk, like, since I couldn't tell my mom that, or wouldn't tell my mom that I wasn't spending the night at this guy's house, and I was actually going to another guy's house, I couldn't do that. My parents were strict. It was hard enough for me to get permission to spend the night at someone's house. And then I'm going to tell my mom that we were stealing and doing all this shit before going to his house? Fuck no. So we were like 2 miles away from my other friend's house, from Matt's house. So long story short, we're like fucking ducking, running and ducking cars and shit. This is all like 12 o'clock at night, by the way. We're out past curfew, So, yeah, we made it all the way to my buddy's house, but man, that was the most tired I think I had ever been. Yeah, that was a rough night. But I got a cool story from it. So, I guess it's all right. But yeah, let's see how long we've done here. Yeah, I've been here for a while now, so I think I'm gonna end this one on that. So yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to the first episode. Hopefully the audio and everything comes out all right. Hopefully I didn't waste my time, and yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Till next time.